career. I'm 25. I was born on the 2nd of February 1984. Well, life in Cameroon, it's like, I don't know, difficult, almost impossible at times because of so many things, ups and downs, and a kind of impossibility to reaching out to what you really want to do or what you want to be, and so many other obstacles. I lost my mom when I was like 17 or so. That kind of age too was, kind of exposing age. I mean, a girl child needs her mom. She needs her around to, tell her those kind of girls things, how to become a woman, because at 17 you're almost becoming a woman. There's so many things you have to learn, but since she was not there, it was kind of difficult. I had to learn on my own. When she was sick, I was in a boarding school. I was really not by her side. I just came and just spent about 3 days with her, and she died. And when she was dying, she died in my hands, and it was the trauma. The trauma too was really not easy. At one point in school, I was like, I would sit and I'm like hallucinating, like just imagining that kind of things did not happen. I really don't want to believe that did not happen. I had to understand that I was all by myself, and I had to learn by myself. I had nobody to turn to, to feel that motherly love. When I was with my friends, when they're talking about their moms, at times I get jealous, I leave, I cry. But at one point I said, if I continue like this, it's going to hurt me more. I just have to learn how to live with her. So I kind of embarked on reading a lot about, reading so many books on how to become a woman. Even though my dad was there for me, he was there, but he could not really replace that mommy attitude. He was there like a daddy, and girls have the kind of things, they kind of confide in their mommies more than their dad. It was really difficult, but I had to learn on my own. It was not easy though, but I had to. After I lost our mom, just 6 months after, and that brought in another woman. It was not easy because she actually did not love us. It was not like life was so perfect without her. Life was at one point very horrible because the woman was deviating his attention just towards her. She had no kids, and we found ourselves, living by ourselves, working very hard to, live and, meet up with other normal kids around and don't feel the effect of what was happening. Maybe I was older, but my younger ones suffered a lot. I thank God my friends and my teachers were supportive, and I was kind of getting over it a little, even though it was not difficult. And then I decided that I was going to work harder than I used to be, because what she was telling me that, you're the eldest, you have to do everything possible to be a good girl, a good example for your younger ones, and then work harder to make them, not to suffer. And I was thinking like that, and then it pushed me to work harder. I remember the first day in school, I was second, and I maintained that position until we were at the GCE. I passed in all my classes. After school in Africa, the conception is, when you leave school, maybe after being a graduate or so, you think you're going to find a job that easily, you get somewhere so you can start taking care of other family members or maybe your younger ones. But things turn out to be the other way around. You find yourself confused, you don't know what to do. And coupled with the fact that, what goes in Cameroon is that who knows who. It's not that kind of thing employment based on competency and all that. so life is a little bit difficult, and the place of the woman is kind of like limited to the house. Anyway, in the past though, because it's like ameliorated now with globalization and all that, the woman used to be limited to the house, you know, taking care of the kids, childbearing, family, you know, and the house, just the house. But and then the woman too is exposed in Cameroon in the sense that she's like looked at the weaker sex and not really respected by the men, you know. Anyway, but things are changing though. I wish to be a great lady, an exceptional lady, one that all others will look to. And I like to help others, you know, talk to others who find themselves in my kind of situation and they don't know how to get out of it.
One reason why I chose to do Brenda's story is that the story is a very common story, not just in Cameroon but in Africa as a whole. She lost her mother at a very young age, and her mother's dying words to her as she held her was to take care of her brothers and sisters. I mean, this is a huge burden for someone her age. With all of these things happening in her life, she still went to school, got educated, and not only that, she excelled in her class. You know, she did exceptionally well, graduating at the top of her class. You know, talking to Brenda, I observed that she was a very, very intelligent girl. But when you first, from the appearance, when you see her, you know, what is presented from the outside, you see a happy young lady. But the more I spoke to her, and you know, you can just kind of look at her eyes and tell there's a deeper story. I asked her, you know, what's your story? And she just kind of blew it off. You know, she's like, she has no story. But the more I engaged in a conversation with her, that's when I started getting bits here and there. And when I found out that her mom passed away when she was young, I asked her, you know, let me sit down and talk to you, and you know, get an interview from you. And that's how the documentary started. The first scene that I shot in this was with Brenda and her little sister going to visit her mom in the cemetery. And it was a difficult scene to shoot from the perspective that I wanted to give them the personal space, not to be so invasive. And I had to kind of keep my distance, but still be able to capture the story, because I felt like it was a very important part of the story, for the simple fact that she goes back and get her strength, you know, from, you know, talking to her mom. In the process of shooting this scene, I observed Brenda and her sister were actually talking to their mom. So after shooting the cemetery scene, when I was doing Brenda's interview, I asked her, you know, what was she saying to her mother?
What I told her was so many things have happened in our lives. My younger sister just got married, and the last one is in an examination class and she's preparing for her GCE. She's doing quite well in school, but the boys are kind of stubborn. Maybe if she was around, they'll listen to her more, but they don't listen to us because we are their sisters and they think we are maybe equal. I was like, if she was there, things would have changed. And then I was like, you know, it's a new year and we believe that wherever she is, she's with God. She intercede on our behalf, so that if we had bad attitudes, we should change. And if things were to happen, you know, she should be there, you know, interceding on our behalf by God, because maybe God will listen to her more because she's a mommy.
When Brenda graduated from school, she encountered the same problems that a lot of youth face in Cameroon. They could not get employment. So, you know, there are a lot of people that are well educated, but as far as finding, you know, job opportunities in the field is a very difficult thing. I asked Brenda if she can change one thing about Cameroon, what would she change?
So many things. like the government, not the head of government, no, the government, those who, those who constitute the governmental core, I'll make them kind of like understand that they have to feel for others. They actually do not have to put themselves first. If they are serving the public, they are civil servants, and their main role is to serve the public. But actually what they are doing is the contrary. If they could reach out to the people, know what the people's problems are, I think things will change, because they'll be working out towards the problems that these people are facing, and I think so many things are going to change.